Hey folks, welcome back to True Crime Stories, where we cover the most thrilling true crime stories. Before we get going, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for me. Thanks. And now let's get into today's story.
All right, get ready for this deep dive, folks, because this one is a real head scratcher.
Oh yeah, a real doozy.
So picture this Elmsworth, this charming little town tucked away, cobblestone streets, cherry blossom festival every year.
Sounds idyllic.
It does, right?
Eh.
But it's fall 1997, and things are about to take a dark turn.
1997, so pre-internet, pre-cell phones.
Exactly. And that's going to play a big role in this whole thing.
Oh, I bet. Communication must have been a lot slower back then.
So in this seemingly perfect town, we have Arthur Grayson, a respected local historian.
Historian, huh? Always poking around in the past.
Well, he wasn't just digging up old town charters, he was delving into Elmsworth's dark side.
Ooh, like what?
Unsolved disappearances from the 1800s, young women vanishing without a trace.
It sounds like he was stepping on some toes, uncovering secrets some folks didn't want brought to light.
You got it. And guess what? Arthur disappears himself, just days before a big lecture where he was going to reveal his latest findings.
No kidding. Talk about a twist.
Now enter Clara Hansen, our protagonist for this deep dive. She's a 30-year-old librarian new to Elmsworth looking for a fresh start.
A librarian, huh? So she's got a knack for research, finding things.
Oh yeah, she's got the skills, but she's not prepared for what she's about to stumble into.
I bet. So how does she get involved in all of this?
While going through the library archives, she finds a cryptic note tucked inside a book. It says, "Find the address within the Whispers."
Find the address within the Whispers. That's creepy.
Super creepy, right?
Yeah.
And it's signed with a symbol that no one recognizes.
So right off the bat, we got a missing historian, a cryptic note, and a town full of secrets.
Exactly. And as Clara starts asking questions about Arthur and this note, she realizes Elmsworth is not as innocent as it seems.
Small towns, they can be like that. Everyone knows everyone's business, but there's always something hidden beneath the surface.
Right. And that's where things get really interesting. We've got a cast of characters, each with their own secrets and potential motives.
Okay, lay it on me.
First up, Mayor James McCarthy, all charm and smiles. But Clara starts noticing some inconsistencies in his alibi for the time Arthur vanished.
A mayor with something to hide, that's classic.
And then there's Leila Darnell, a journalist who had a public falling out with Arthur. His research was threatening to expose a story she was working on.
So maybe she wanted to silence him before he spilled beans?
It's possible, right?
Okay.
And let's not forget about Tommy Walsh, had a long-standing grudge against Arthur. Something about Arthur's research painted Tommy's family in a bad light.
So revenge could be a motive.
Could be. And rounding out our list of potential suspects is Madeline Harper, close friend of Arthur's and a history buff herself.
Close friend, huh? Those can be the most dangerous sometimes.
Right, because they know things, they have access. And according to some sources, Madeline might have been a little jealous of Arthur's success.
So we've got a mayor, a journalist, a guy with a grudge, and a jealous friend, all tangled up in this disappearance.
And remember, this is 1997. No social media to track people's movements. No DNA databases to quickly analyze evidence.
So investigators had to rely on good old-fashioned detective work.
Exactly. Shoe leather, interviews, following hunches.
I bet that made things a lot more difficult.
Oh, for sure. And the physical evidence they did find added another layer of intrigue.
Like what?
Hair strands found near an abandoned old estate on the outskirts of town. They were a match for Arthur's.
Okay, so he was definitely at that estate.
Seems like it, right? But here's the kicker. They also found tire tracks near the estate, matching an older model truck. A truck very similar to the one Tommy Walsh owned.
Well. Looks like our guy with a grudge might be moving up the suspect list.
And the interviews conducted by Detective Alan Reed really muddy the waters even more.
I'd say.
Mayor McCarthy had some pretty vague alibis. Leila Darnell got super defensive whenever Arthur's research was mentioned. Tommy Walsh, well, he was volatile as always, denying everything.
What about Madeline Harper? What was her story?
Madeline, she was hesitant, almost evasive in her responses.
Yeah.
There were gaps in her alibi for the day Arthur disappeared.
Sounds like everyone in this town is hiding something.
It's like they say a town like Elmsworth has as many secrets as it has cherry trees.
And some of those secrets might just be deadly.
Oh, I think we're about to find that out. It's like every time we uncover a clue in this case, it just leads to more questions.
A real tangled web, huh?
And remember Clara, our librarian sleuth? She's not giving up. She's determined to figure out what that note means. Find the address within the Whispers.
It's like a riddle from a ghost story.
Right, and her search takes her deeper into the library archives, where she stumbles upon some old journals.
Journals, huh? Whose were they?
They belong to a resident who vanished decades ago, just gone poof.
Another disappearance. This town is starting to sound cursed.
And these journals mention secret gatherings, rituals at that abandoned estate where Arthur's hair was found.
Hold on, so this estate has a history of strange happenings.
Oh yeah, it gets creepier. Clara discovers the estate belonged to one of the town's founding families, the Caldwells.
The Caldwells, any skeletons in their closet?
Oh, you bet. Rumors of hidden fortunes, secret societies, the works.
Classic founding family stuff. Power, secrets, maybe even a little bit of scandal.
And while exploring the estate, Clara makes a startling discovery. A hidden room, concealed behind a wall in the attic.
What was in it?
Portraits, tons of them, staring down at her from the walls. Elmsworth's elite through the ages, including a portrait of a young James McCarthy.
No way. The mayor's family in a secret room. What's the connection?
That's what Claire's trying to figure out. She also finds some notes scattered around talking about preserving legacies and ensuring the town's prosperity.
That sounds almost ominous when you put it like that. Like they were willing to do anything to protect their power.
Right. And Claire is starting to think these secrets might be tied to Arthur's disappearance.
It's all starting to come together, like those whispers are getting louder.
And just as the tension is reaching a boiling point, Clara decides she's had enough of the whispers. She calls a town meeting, lays it all out there.
Whoa. That's a gutsy move, calling out the whole town like that.
She's like, I'm done with the secrets, Elmsworth. Let's deal with this head on.
Did it work? Did anyone spill the beans?
Not exactly. But it did light a fire under Detective Reed. He and his team, they ramp up their search of the estate. And then it happens. They find human remains.
Oh my God. So it wasn't just a disappearance after all. It was murder.
And everyone in Elmsworth is a suspect. But remember, we're in 1997, so forensic technology is limited.
So they had to rely on traditional methods to figure out who did it.
Exactly. And the evidence starts to point towards Mayor McCarthy. Remember those tire tracks matching his truck?
Yeah, but couldn't that have been planted?
It's possible, right. But then more witnesses come forward casting doubt on McCarthy's alibi for the day Arthur disappeared.
So the mayor's looking pretty guilty right now.
He is. But there's something about his demeanor, this unwavering confidence. It's like he knows something we don't.
Like he has an ace up his sleeve.
And as the investigation unfolds, we learn more about the other suspects. Leila Darnell, the journalist, she was in deep debt and had been receiving anonymous payments right before Arthur vanished.
Ooh, so someone was paying her to keep quiet about something.
Exactly. And Tommy Walsh, the guy with the grudge against Arthur, turns out he had just replaced the tires on his truck right before Arthur went missing.
Convenient timing.
Very. And then there's Madeline Harper, Arthur's close friend. She was secretly researching the same historical events as him.
And she was planning to publish her own book, right? Competition can get fierce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Clara discovers that Madeline actually visited Arthur on the day he disappeared, something she initially lied about to Detective Reed.
So everyone's got secrets. Everyone's got something to hide.
And the question is, whose secret was worth killing for?
It's like a pressure cooker waiting to explode. All this tension, all these lies, someone was bound to crack.
Welcome back to the deep dive. It feels like we've been digging through layers and layers of secrets in this case.
Yeah, Elmsworth is like an onion. The more you peel, the more you cry.
So where do we leave off?
Oh.
The discovery of Arthur's remains, the town in an uproar, everyone a suspect.
And the evidence seemed to be piling up against Mayor McCarthy.
It did, right. But there was something about his demeanor throughout this whole thing that just felt off, you know? Like he was almost too calm, too collected.
Maybe he was just good at playing the part, you know? The innocent, upstanding mayor?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But as the trial got underway, things took a turn, a pretty dramatic turn.
What happened? Did they find a smoking gun?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
Remember Madeline Harper, Arthur's close friend? Well, she dropped a bombshell on everyone.
Oh, no, she confessed.
She did, in open court. She admitted that she had killed Arthur.
Wow, I did not see that coming. So what was her motive?
Jealousy. It turns out their friendship had become pretty toxic. She was resentful of his success, afraid that he was going to overshadow her own research.
That's so sad that a friendship could turn so sour.
Right. And she revealed that on the day Arthur disappeared, she had gone to see him, to confront him about his book.
And things got out of hand.
Yeah, they argued. And in a moment of rage, she struck him. He fell, hit his head, and died instantly.
So it was an accident?
That's what she claimed. But the jury wasn't buying it. She was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to prison.
So it wasn't a grand conspiracy after all. It was something much more personal, much more tragic.
It was. And it goes to show that even in a small town like Elmsworth, darkness can find a way in. And sometimes the truth is hidden in the most unexpected places.
Yeah, you never really know what's going on behind closed doors.
And while the case is closed, the mystery of Elmsworth lingers. You know, all those secrets, those whispers from the past, they're still there.
It makes you wonder what else might be hidden beneath the surface.
That's the thing about history. It's never truly buried. It's always there waiting to be uncovered.
So what happened to Clara after all of this?
Clara, our librarian hero, well, she stayed in Elmsworth, determined to keep digging, to keep uncovering the truth.
It's almost like she became the new guardian of the town's secrets.
Yeah. She made it her mission to make sure that Arthur's work, his search for the truth, wouldn't be forgotten.
And what about the town? Did they ever really recover from this whole ordeal?
Well, Elmsworth is a resilient place. They've learned to live with their history, with the good and the bad.
Because in the end, that's all any of us can do, right? Acknowledge the past, learn from it, and move forward.
It's a process, for sure.
Yeah.
And this deep dive has shown us that sometimes the most charming places can harbor the darkest secrets.
Secrets that can have a ripple effect, touching the lives of everyone in the community.
So the next time you find yourself in a quaint little town like Elmsworth, take a closer look. Listen to those whispers, because you never know what stories they might tell.
Thanks for taking us on this journey. It's been a fascinating, if somewhat unsettling, exploration of a small town and its secrets.
And thanks to you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep questioning, keep digging, and never stop searching for the truth.